texting each other about. It's like, how do we? Jaylen in that third quarter was absolutely insane. It's like, well, Jaylen has to sit, and now we can't score points. So I get what you're saying, but I really do think it all ties back to you can't get down 16 points in the first quarter.
Some crazy. I'd be the first one to be happy to admit that I was wrong about Walsh, but I also feel like I got you to kind of say I was right about Walsh to start the year. So
I was ready.
You were on the ship together. You tried to throw me under the Walsh Express before.
Wow,
we're in this boat together now. I remember the ping pong ball
the other night. KD going back and forth with T Morant on the sidelines, chirping T. T said something to him, and KD said something along the lines like, "Shut up, your son won't even be here in a week," or something like that.
Wow.
So.
Screws loose, they done stripped the bolts on them. Should've never sent them to pick up the work for them. Sprayed the park and had my shit inside the car. Marcus Smart Boy was shooting with a 36 on him. Said if he wasn't in the rush, they was all goners.
All right. Greetings, Chudlings. Welcome to another episode of Chuddy's Corner. It is Friday, November 7th. It is the Cup, and the Celtics lose tonight against the Magic, 123-110. Tank back on? Cup is stupid, or where are we at with this one, Chud?
No, I wouldn't say either of those things, actually. I'd say, honestly, pretty overall encouraging game despite the loss. I thought we took a really good knockout punch from the Magic in the first quarter, who all the things that I talked about last episode that they've been struggling with all seem to click tonight. They come out, they're shooting 7 of 11 on threes in the first quarter. Defense is back. It's just like, you got to be kidding me. All the things they've been struggling. Desmond Bane's been a MIA. He's out there hitting shots. It's like everything's going right for them. Honestly, I thought the wheels were going to come off and they were going to roll by 30. So the way they fought, I actually thought making this a game, and it felt like a pretty good matchup for a team that, again, we just saw them a few months ago in the playoffs, and we came away from that being like, the Magic are fucking good. They got better. We got a lot worse. So disappointing loss, but again, despite the slow start for the Magic, this was the team that I thought might be the best in the East, and I thought tonight we saw a lot of the reasons why. So I thought, for the most part, the Celtics played well, and we can talk about a lot of positives, but I thought the Magic hit their stride a little bit too, and we just, got bested. Got that big first quarter hole, and then we were kind of against the 8 ball the entire game and just didn't quite have enough to bring it home.
We erased that lead, but I do agree.
But it's still holding that up, maintaining that is like the energy it takes to erase it to then maintain it. You often see like you can get to the hump and then you just can't get over it.
Yeah, I think really for me, this is like the first loss, I think, this season where we haven't been absolutely crushed on the rebounding. Maybe the Pistons game. But like every other loss, I feel like we've been like out rebounded by like 20. This was pretty even on that. That wasn't really the problem. I think it came down to the Magic were just drilling shots. Like the Magic, and this kind of has happened with this team before, where they're not a very high volume or good shooting 3-point team, and they seem to do it well against us. So, like if you really want to boil it down to just like the simplest way to write it off, you can just say they made more shots than we did. But I don't know. I still think I see a lot of like just like issues, especially on the defensive end. Like we're fouling so much.
Yeah, I'm not saying there aren't issues.
Well, we're gonna talk. Well, yeah.
I'm just saying in terms of when you're asked, does this mean we should tank? I'm saying, of course not.
That was obviously a little bit of a joke.
I'm not saying
this wasn't great. This wasn't as demoralizing of a loss, I think, as some of the ones we've had. I'm not actually endorsing the tank or the Cup is stupid. I think the Cup is still within reach.
Love the Cup, and right now, absolutely electric Cup action going on all around the NBA right now.
You have such a crazy glow to you with all the different color courts.
It's illuminating here. And speaking of which, is that I can't recall for sure last year, but I feel like the Magic went with the very royal blue court last year. They dulled it down a little bit.
This one I barely even noticed.
Yeah, it was kind of nice actually. Maybe not colorful enough. Honestly, I almost
that's what I'm saying.
The Cup. I can't forget it's the Cup mid game. That's unacceptable. So, no, but I mean,
we might have forgotten it was the Cup for a little bit this game.
Yeah, well, we were quickly reminded at the end when Joe called timeout to sub with 0.5 left, down 12 or whatever. And run an alley-oop play to Pritchard. That was great. But, I mean, again, to me, if we want to start with the positives, Jaylen continues to just look like a superstar. I mean, this game was in the balance. He went out and took it. That third quarter, unbelievable. And he continues to do it by just deciding, like, I'm getting to the basket for a layup, and there's nothing you could do to stop me. Getting it going from the mid-range game. I think he only actually made 1 3, but everything else was like unstoppable. So that was great. But to me, again, the guys who saved this game, kept us in it. It was Hugo, Walsh, and then Minott later. And it's becoming more and more clear, like, those guys are the key. Those 3 energy guys and Queta. And when, like, no combination of them are on the floor, it gets ugly really fast.
Yeah, which is kind of a scary state of affairs. It's sort of just like, when you put it like that, it's a little bit concerning.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, those guys did play absolutely sick. I think Minott had like 8 rebounds, 13 points, something like that. He came off the 21-point game.
Huge.
Last game. He's absolutely looking just like a guy that just belongs in the rotation of a competitive team. Granted, we haven't been super competitive so far. Well, maybe a little. We've been competitive, but
no, and I think he's a big part of us being competitive. Like, the numbers don't lie. We're just a way better team when he's on the floor. I think this game kind of fell apart because he got the 3 fouls. I wish he played more. That's
the thing is, I think you were texting during the game. Queta and Minott both look like so sick at some points, but
yeah,
they got to get a little bit more disciplined with some of the shit that they're doing.
But that's what this year's for.
Yeah,
get that discipline, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's their first time playing anywhere close to these minutes, though. Asking Minott to go from a guy who's coming in for maybe 10 minutes a night is like, leave it on the court. You can make 4 fouls in 10 minutes, no one cares. Now it's like, honestly, I think we need Minott to play like 35 minutes almost if we want to really be competitive.
Honestly, yeah.
And so it's like, he almost is going to have to dial it back a little bit, which is probably something he's never done.
I never really thought about it that way, where it's like, he's just always been trained to just go out there and go absolutely crazy. And so,
and it's never mattered.
It's interesting.
But now it's like, dude, we actually need you to not be in foul trouble.
Yeah,
badly.
like you need to, like, we don't need you to be like an actual junkyard dog. Like we just need close to that within the limits of the rules of basketball.
Right. But again, I think we're finding it more because I think Hugo, the same. Like, it was him tonight who started it. When he came in, he kind of saved it. We were down, 16 in the first. He had a few huge plays on both ends, made a couple nice offensive plays too, moving the ball, which was good to see. And then Walsh, who was, again, one of the first guys off the bench tonight. It seems like that they like what they found. Shireman was glued to the bench.
Yeah.
I know this is a matchup stuff, but again, it's like, it's very clear what they need, and Walsh is providing it. And just like, the more guys like that, the better, because they need either someone like a Walsh or a Minott, almost like a power forward, but who's like athletic and can kind of play outside too. It's honestly, in a weird way, almost like Tatum without like all the awesome Tatum stuff. It's like almost if there's like a stunt double for Tatum. Those guys are kind of like it.
That's
like,
what I thought with Minott. I've thought that about Walsh for a while. Like sometimes he kind of can look a little bit like him, obviously with not the same like skill set or any of that shit, but
just filling in that role, playing that kind of defense, that rebounding. Again, give me like 75% of Tatum without obviously just the offensive ridiculousness. And that's like kind of key. Yeah. We're just so missing that.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great observation. I've felt the same thing about both those guys. Because we mentioned like the things that he does, you're never going to replicate the like offensive, all that kind of shit, but you can do some of the other stuff at least to, you said 75% or, close to that.
Exactly. But and the offense, I think for this roster is easier to make up. Like it's easier for me to come up with ways that we can recreate Tatum's offense between, Brown, Pritchard, the guys we have stepping up. Yeah. But it's like, who's going to make up for Tatum's defense, his rebounding, all the little things he does. And that's where you can tell how key it is right now for us to have a Minott, a Walsh, even a Hugo on the floor to do that kind of stuff with that size and athleticism.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I want to talk about Pritchard because it seems like he might have found the 3-point stroke a little bit. I think he had 4 or 5. I don't know. I know at one point he was 4 for 5, and he hasn't had more than 2 except for the Utah game where he went 4 for 11. So that wasn't even really that like impressive at all. But he finished 5 for 8. So if it's still doing a lot though. He had 27 points in the game. Just still doing so much in the paint and everything like that. Did
you see
insane.
that stat? That on like paint shooting, he is the best field goal.
I took a picture of it. Yeah.
Over Giannis.
I pulled my phone out and snapped.
It was like Giannis, Luka were 2 and 3, and Pritchard was number 1.
Players with 10 plus drives for a game. The field goal percentage for players with 10 plus drives for the game. He's at 75.7. The next closest is Giannis, 72.2.
And it's even more ridiculous because for Giannis, those are probably like 80% dunks or layups. For Pritchard, it's a lot of like step back, mid-range shots, like turnarounds in the paint. Seriously. And he's just automatic.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's early in the season, of course, but he is it's crazy.
Bag, straight in his bag.
Yeah, he's the ultimate bag worker.
Right. And again, we've been saying
that's not meant to sound insulting.
No, in a good way for sure. But it's also kind of, we've been saying like, we're not worried about the shooting. We know the shooting is going to come. It's going to just come and be added to all this other stuff. And that's kind of what you saw tonight. Not saying he's going to score 27 points tonight, but like, we expect him to shoot threes. And tonight, adding that into all the other stuff, it's just makes him so like versatile on offense, which is crazy to think, but that's what we need. And he had to go in with the step back. There was a couple like quick trigger threes. It was like, all right, he's really feeling it. And again, it's not like some shock, like, there we go. We all knew it was just a matter of time. Weird little slump maybe that's just like his MO to start the season, because it feels like it's kind of every year. He comes out of the gate and can't buy a three for whatever reason.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah, it might just be the MO, but it looks like he's working his way in. So we've talked a little bit about the good. Do you want to get into some of the bad? There definitely was some bad stuff tonight.
For sure. And I mean, you alluded to it. It's defense, it's rebounding, it's stuff like that. And yeah, they made a lot of shots, but a lot of those, at least at the beginning, were wide open shots. And this is the second game in a row where we've gotten down by a huge amount in the first quarter. Last game, it was the fucking Wizards, and we won the last three quarters by 40, so it didn't matter. But tonight, we just dug too big of a hole against a team that's good, and it's hard then going into the second quarter.
We had a 1-point lead with 6 minutes left, though.
Right, but again, the amount of energy you exert, if you just think about it, to erase a 20-point deficit, you're exerting so much energy, and we saw then those guys had to go to the bench. And so what we were texting each other about is like, how do we... Jaylen in that third quarter was absolutely insane. It's like, well, Jaylen has to sit, and now we can't score points. So I get what you're saying, but I really do think it all ties back to you can't get down 16 points in the first quarter.
There's some crazy lineups in the fourth. I'll give you that.
And even the whole game, it's just constant. Yeah, when our best guys are in there playing our hardest, they look good, but you can't sustain that for 36 minutes in a row, 36 minutes.
Sustain it.
That's just not. I wish, but again, to me, you just can't get off to the slow start. You can't be dicking around in the first quarter as they were and were the game before that as well. And then it's like they're just taking too long to get that level of urgency. And by the time they do it again, it's like you're not going to hold the Magic down for that long. They went a little cold. You played great, but we've seen it. You just can't play like that for that long, and you leave yourself no margin of error when you do that. Is the other thing. You can't afford 5 bad minutes when you're down 16 in the first quarter, and this is the team where the margins are not what they once were. So now we don't have that margin. Last year, we could get down 16 against a good team and know that, like, okay, we still got this. Now, it's a big ask. It's a really big ask on the road against a good team.
Yeah. My other gripe, and again, this isn't to, it's go after the new guy or anything here, but you can't tell me that Garza is better than Tillman or Boucher at this point. Like, well, you just can't. And I get the Boucher thing was like the rebounding side of it, but if my numbers are correct here, it looks like Garza didn't have a single rebound tonight anyway. So it's like he doesn't.
It was ugly.
Like
the Garza minutes were ugly.
He's like in the way half the time. Like I love it. He's trying his hardest. Like we've talked about his running style. Like you can tell he's trying to chug down, but
of course,
oh my God, it's just it's frustrating. And if he's not even getting the rebounds, he's not even doing the thing that you'd want him out there that he's supposed to can do. I haven't seen him making I mean, he's had some nice stuff around the rim, but haven't seen like this crazy like creating his own offense anything either that I heard about.
Right.
So
well, that's the thing.
I don't really know what he's got over those guys.
Exactly. And if he's not scoring or setting up offense through screening, if he's not dominating the glass, then he's kind of useless out there. Because on defense, we're just so compromised when he's the center on defense. You see it's not like he's a guy who's going to switch. You don't want him obviously guarding anyone on the perimeter with any ability to dribble. And then if you play him in a drop, they're just going to attack him. We've seen he's a step slow. They run the simple pick and rolls, and it's like an alley-oop every single time, or they're committing a foul pretty much. And it's just tough to play. Like it's tough to play a center in the NBA who can't switch and can't protect the rim at a high level. Like you basically have to do one or the other in the NBA, or you just can't have a functioning defense.
Yeah.
And the only exceptions are guys who are basically so good at offense that you'll just live with it.
Yes.
And Garza's obviously nowhere near that. So again, I don't want to act like we're harping on the guy because we knew coming in the front court was going to be a weakness. If anything, I'd say I'm pleasantly surprised with how good Queta is, and it's almost making these other guys look worse because the Queta minutes have been really good, but it's also then making it so dramatic when Queta sits. It's like, oh my God, We have no
Well,
semblance of
geez,
a
it
big.
makes you think about how bad things would be if Queta wasn't good. Oh, fuck.
Exactly. And we've seen for the second game in a row, you and I were calling for it early, texting each other, but they went to it when it mattered. For the second game in a row, they kind of put those Garza minutes on ice down the stretch and finally decided we can't do this anymore, playing Minott at the 5, which I'm more than happy to do. But again, it comes back to we need to not be in foul trouble because then we can't have Minott, Brown, these other guys taxing themselves with fouls and trying to play inside, and all this stuff just adds mileage, adds minutes, wears you out, and you get tired down the stretch. And you saw in the last 5 minutes, the Magic were clearly the fresher team, and it all kind of goes back to what I'm saying. You're trying to dig out of a hole the entire night.
Yeah. I kind of agree. I just think that I'd rather go with that small lineup where you can and get what you can out of that than see some. But the thing with the centers too is, and you're right, like it's not like Garza. It's not like I was expecting him to be like 6, so I'm not trying to be like,
right.
holy fuck. It's like we all knew this was going to be a problem, but I think it's my point is, so we have 2 other guys that may or may not be terrible too, but
right,
like right now, I think the jury's in on Garza.
I think it's a little too soon to say that. I think he's had some nice.
I'm not saying put him in
a
box and stuff him away.
Sure, but I also kind of like got to give Joe the benefit of the doubt. He's the guy there every day. He's watching in practice. If he's clearly indicating that Garza is that much better than Tillman and Boucher, I tend to believe him because, again, last year, we were kind of thinking the same thing out of the beginning of the year. We expected Tillman to be the guy. He's playing Cornet right off the bench, and we were like, what the fuck? And then clearly he knew what he was doing, and the same was true with Queta. So I don't want to jump to rapid conclusions right away. Obviously, I'm not expecting much of Garza, but again, Queta was a 2-way guy when he started. It's not like we were expecting anything out of Queta either. So Joe has earned, to me, some benefit of the doubt. Maybe this is just a slump. Garza's going to get his offense going. He starts hitting some threes. He starts scoring. Again, if he's scoring 12 points a game and just rebounding the ball, we can kind of live with some not great defense. But it's like right now he's doing nothing. So, again, the coaching staff clearly believes in him. He's the only guy who I think has any upside also, which, again, in a season where we're 4-6, it's not like we're trying to win 60 games. So it's like if they think the upside of Garza is higher, which it obviously is, like Boucher's 30-something, Tillman, I think he is what he is. If they still are like, we think we took this risk on Garza, we think there's something there we can tap into. Let's be patient, give it some time. Obviously, it seems like with Minott, they already found it. So again, it's frustrating to watch, but I don't want to jump to like immediately, this ship has sailed. And the other thing is also, it's not like there's obviously better options. Because I think if one of those guys was deserving the minutes, Joe would give it to him. So again, if it's like this for 30 games, there might be some urgency of like, we have to fix something. We have to find a big whatever. But I think for now, just kind of suck it up. And it's going to look bad sometimes. Just hopefully it'll look good sometimes.
Yeah. No, all right. Yeah, I mean, Joe has earned some of the benefit of the doubt, I suppose. There's a little bit of a big whisper there with the Cornet emergence. So
and Neemi.
Yeah, but Neemi was like a year after that. It's kind of like...
Well, but that's what I'm saying. He's hit it 2 years in a row. Who we were like, why the fuck is this guy playing?
Pump the brakes on Neemi necessarily being for sure. Like, he's been playing well through, 9 games, 10 games? Like,
sure, but I think even that he's gotten to this point where he was a guy where we were thinking he was a lifetime main Celtic. He had bounced around on 2-way. We had him on a 2-way, and suddenly he's playing real minutes. Now he's the starter on the fucking team. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-star, but it's still like... The fact that he's even at this level for a guy who we were like, why he's not even worth a roster spot is pretty sick. So
yeah, not trying to knock Neemi's.
No, I know. I'm just saying that's a big deal.
Born player to play ever,
easily, and rising on the ranks easily.
Yeah, clear number one.
No, Queta's been one of. I mean, there are some serious bright spots on the team. That's the thing. It's like with the record, there's been some frustrations, but I feel like the things up front, like Jaylen. Massive positive what he's done so far this season. And then Minott, massive positive, obviously. Queta, massive positive. And I think there's some other guys that are positives, but those 3 are like so far huge wins.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's like we kind of said it before the season started that this is going to be one of those seasons where if you're just kind of like watching the games from like 10,000 feet, you're going to be like, Jesus, who the fuck is this? Like they kind of stink. But if you're like in the trenches, if you're Chuddy head, listening to every episode, watching every game, then I feel, you'll see some kind of stuff. Like there's a lot, again, positive things. Certainly a lot to work on. I don't really, like I said, this game didn't feel like we just got completely like whooped or like outworked or we didn't get out rebounded. Like I said, it was a pretty much even split on the rebounds. They made all the shots when they needed to make them, and we missed a lot of the shots at times when we had to be making shots. And I think that's what it kind of came down to.
Yeah.
infamously, you can really
I mean,
boil it down.
They scored
but
38 in the first and 39 in the fourth. Like, that's just silly.
yeah,
For a team that's
tough
not
sandwich.
Not that great on offense.
Tough, Sandy.
Yeah,
Hate
shot
that it's a
47% on
at
threes.
Magic,
Like,
at
that
Magic.
sucks. Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like that, actually. It's like
I think
a
I
little
might have
mini
said the
series.
exact opposite last year, to be
Gives
honest.
us a night to stew on it. Get ready to face them again. I kind of like it. It gives a little, like, playoff vibes, I think.
Yeah.
The little mini series. I don't hate that at all.
All right, you got anything else in the game?
Yeah, I mean, speaking of playoffs, I just thought it was so weird that, like, again, we just saw this team, and I remember after every single game coming in here and being like, Jesus, man, Paolo Banchero is fucking scary. Tonight, it almost seemed like he wasn't even on the court. Like, so forgettable.
I couldn't even tell you one thing he did.
That's what I mean. Isn't that crazy to think, like, that's the same guy? It's like, how can this guy have that little impact on the game is almost bizarre. And I think give Minott a lot of credit, but again, it just looks weird out there.
Hugo was picking him up full court.
Hugo, yeah, a lot of guys, Minott, Hugo, I mean, Walsh, those guys we're talking about. I mean, that's why they're so key, because that was just a classic, like, matchup that we had covered. But the fact that they were making him work that hard and making him have such a tough night is just, like, really impressive. And honestly, kind of, like, blowing my mind after watching those 5 games in the playoffs. It's like, how is this the same guy? How is he not putting up 40 against this Celtics team? Like,
yeah, I feel like that's kind of been his
bonkers.
MO, no? I feel like where he's just kind of like, he's got all this skill, but it's just like, just doesn't do it really on a night-to-night basis. Like, it just isn't always...
Yeah, I mean,
trenches.
it's again, and I mean, obviously his team won.
I'm not trying to... I like him, but I just feel like that's kind of been his MO.
No, I mean, I'm not even really... It kind of has. It's that, like, when are we going to see, like, him take that next step? But I guess I kind of felt like in the playoffs, that was the step in that series where I was like, okay, this guy has arrived.
Yeah.
And maybe not. Again, they won. Franz had a big night. Desmond Bain finally got going. So I'm sure, he is trying to get those other guys going, because that's kind of also been the thing, is like, it can't just be him. So I don't want to like shit on him. He shot 4 of 10. It's not like he shot, 4 of 20. It's more just, it was noticeable to me how much of like a non-factor he was after that playoff series where it was like, this guy's fucking unstoppable.
Yeah.
So I found that interesting. For sure. Other stuff than that, there's like a few, we've already commented on like the Hugo and Walsh minutes, how good they were in terms of what they're giving us, energy, defense, rebounding, all those like intangibles. But I'm noticing the little things on offense. Like Hugo had a play where he like pump faked, drove baseline, jumped in midair and like kicked it out to Pritchard for like a wide open elbow 3.
Yeah.
That was like a fucking sick play. And then Walsh had a play in the fourth quarter where they swung it to him on the elbow and he thought he would shoot the 3 and he fake passed. He did like the fake swing and then drove and did like a almost little Euro step and like laid it in. I was just like, holy shit. Cause again, we keep talking about guys like that. Like Walsh has basically it all other than any offense. It's like, if he could just make corner threes, give us a little of that once in a while. It's like the rest is basically there. It's really not that hard to imagine these guys being like every night rotation players on a good team. If they can make just like those little leaps right there. So seeing stuff like that, I'm not gonna lie, it gets me pretty excited.
Yeah. Oh no. Like I'd be the first one to be happy to admit that I was wrong about Walsh, but I also feel like I got you to kind of say that I was right about Walsh to start the year. So
I was ready.
You were on this ship together. You tried to throw me under the Walsh Express before.
Wow.
We're in this boat together now. I remember the ping pong balls.
I had him on the fringe of stay ready. So, and that's what happened. The first 2 games he wasn't. He stayed ready. He got his chance, and he's fucking run with it so far. So,
yeah, I guess he technically wasn't in the doesn't matter if you're not ready, because when they needed him to come in, it mattered that he was ready. So
right, and now like after last game's like he earned it. Tonight he was just a main bench guy in the rotation, and I thought he was awesome again. So, like I said, it's kind of weird seeing his skill set, seeing what our team needs to think at this point like it's a fluke or he would go away, because it's really important stuff that he's providing.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to be wrong about that. So
for sure,
not married at all to that take.
No doubt. I haven't mentioned Simons yet. Simons is, I'm like, it's a very odd relationship that I have with him, because it was like in the first half he only played 4 minutes. He seems sometimes so lethargic, and he's kind of associated with that second unit that lacks energy. And it's like, it's like he kind of needs the energy around him.
He had a couple shots too that were just deep threes that were momentum.
Well, in the fourth.
Like
you're saying the misses?
No, the misses. Yeah,
right. That's what I mean. For 3 quarters, I was like, why is this guy in the game? And then in the 4th quarter, it was like, he saved us. And he had 3 threes in a row that were out of nowhere. I was like, Jesus Christ, we're coming back thanks to him. So it's just like such a roller coaster ride, huh? Even within the game. Even within games, it can go up and down so fast. The point where part of me was
is that what you meant with the microwave popcorn guy?
Exactly. Well, and that's, you saw it because he came in the 4th, and I was just like, oh no, like, I don't know if this is the time. And then a few minutes later, I was like, I don't know if we can take him off the floor. So
I want to say that he missed one more 3 before he made the run of 3s in the 4th. I think that he might have missed another one. I was just kind of like, Jesus, it's fucking possible. Christ.
It definitely got to the point where I was like, why is he out there?
And then he drilled a couple,
Yeah. So it's fascinating. But again, I think with this team, we just need that. And we saw, like, he give us that little burst where it's like suddenly he scores 10 points in a row. It's like, yeah, we needed that
coming
bad,
in.
So.
He had to come in early the last 2 games too, just with Pritchard's fouling issues. So
yeah. So again, his defense is pretty rough, and sometimes the energy seems rough. But man, we need that injection of offense right now is much needed. So yeah, it's been an interesting watch for sure. And again, he just like feeds off what else is happening. So when he's out there with the bench and it's like whack and they're getting killed, he just looks like he doesn't want to be there. But then you see him in the 4th after he hits a shot and the starters are out there and he's engaged, like he was like fronting Paolo in the post, and it's like, all right, just bring this energy all the time, man. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, frustrating and fascinating player at the same time. I'm still, I don't know. I still like don't know what to make of him, if I like it or not. I'm not really sure, but at least right now it's kind of needed. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, enjoy the ride. You'll never know when you might have to get off the ride, but we'll enjoy it for now. Anything else on the game?
Only other thing was just a funny moment in the first quarter. Neemi was having a great game. They threw it to him in the post, and he did like a jab step, turnaround, fadeaway off back rim, and Joe just called timeout and just started ripping him to shreds like right away, which just awesome.
The announcers nailed it on that one. They're like, it's the Patrick Ewing, like, what is that shot? Do you practice that shot? Is that something that you practice in the gym?
It was so like, bizarre. He was feeling himself like a little too much. I love Joe just immediately bringing him back down to
being like,
dude, that is not how you got this job.
yeah. Like, you're out here as a necessity, not to do anything like that.
Yeah. That was funny shit.
All right. Yeah. I mean, shitty outcome, but
tough loss. Tough loss, but good team and a team that always plays us well.
Still not dead in the cup, though. Still not dead in the cup. The cup is still somewhat within reach.
But I mean, I think we probably got to win out in the group play, especially because we only beat Philly by 1. So now we have a negative point differential and we're only 1-1. So probably got to win out. Probably got to sneak in a blowout. But no, it's not over.
All right. Yeah. So again, 123 to 110. Jaylen 32, his 6th 30-point game of the season so far. He's the 4th Celtic to do that in the first 10 games of the season. Havlicek, Sam Jones, and then Tatum has done it the last 2 seasons. So he's been on an absolute tear. 3 30-point games in a row, tied for the longest streak of his career.
Hyper efficient.
He has been, he has been 28 shots tonight. He's been absolutely killing it. All right, let's pay a couple of bills, I suppose, and then we can get into a little around the NBA chat. All right. Thought I had this up in front of me. Here we go. Mario's roofing, Mario's siding, Mario's windows, Mario's. Just got to call Mario's. At Mario's, we pride ourselves on quality, safety, and value. We wouldn't do anything to your home that we wouldn't also do to our own. Call Mario's today. Ask them about their winter specials. We got some rain coming, soon to be snow coming. You want to make sure that roof's secure. You want to make sure those windows don't have drafts, anything like that. Get your house winterized. Call Mario's at 781-344-2420. You can also visit them online at mariosroofing.com. Mario's Roofing, we won't soak you to keep you warm and dry.
Chuddy's Corner is also sponsored by Nick Perino Real Estate. NickPerino.com, the home for all of your real estate needs. Nick Perino, OG, Chuddy Head, OG sponsor, hardcore, diehard Celtics fan, the kind of guy you want in your corner. Just a real relatable, real honest guy in a business where it's hard to get the real, honest answers. Nick will give them to you. He's a friendly face. He's a trusty guy, and you want him in your corner fighting for you in a pretty brutal market. So go to Nick, and on the side, you can yap Celtics with him. He's, I'm sure, taking this loss pretty badly. He's a big cup head like ourselves, so he wanted that cup. I know that much. He's got to be a bit frustrated right now, so help him out. Go to nickparano.com again, nickpirano.com. That's Nick Parano, the official sponsor and the official realtor of Shuddy's Corner.
All right. Thanks, Mario's Roofing. Thank you, Nick Parano. Getting a little around the NBA talk. Anyone, if you're listening on the live stream on Twitter, if you want to get the full Celtics Magic recap, you can always check us out. Episodes streaming. Get this turned around pretty darn quickly, I'd say. So tune in either later on tonight or tomorrow morning. You'll have the full episode. But what's going on around the NBA, Chud?
Oh,
a lot of cup action tonight,
a lot of cup action.
There's got
going
a ton
on.
of games, isn't there?
Yeah, I'll work my way backwards with the other night. We've had a few pretty exciting games going on. We had the Nets get their first win of the season. They're off the schneid, so good to see. No more winless teams in the association. Now that's something. Makes me happy to see. The Cavaliers also trouncing Philly the night after we got them. So that was good to see as well. Philly, a few losses, or after the Bulls got them, sorry. So 2 losses in a row now for Philly after their hot start, maybe coming back down a little bit to earth. And then the Thunder finally took their first loss the other night at the hands of the Blazers, who
dude, that team's feisty.
Exactly. One of, a league pass darling, who another team that may be graduating from that area because now they beat the Nuggets, they beat the Thunder the other night. Really good game that went toe-to-toe with them and kind of took them down at the end. Exciting to see. Good stuff. Big fan of that team. And again, to lose their coach in the way that they did after like 2 games and
seriously
stabilize. And Drew Holiday has found the fountain of youth. Like does not look like the guy the Celtics have for the last couple of years. He's playing fucking awesome.
They I remember, I think it was on last Friday's Amazon pregame show that everyone was just basically saying how they felt bad for the Blazers because their NBA Cup grouping is like insane. Who they have to,
exactly.
But I think they
Nuggets
won
game
that
was a
game
cup
on
game.
Friday. Yeah, I think
that
they
was
won
the
that
Nuggets game. Exactly.
So it's a feisty team, not a team to be trifled with.
No, they're very good on defense, and Drew has given them a little more juice on offense. Denny Avia is like borderline all-star. Like he's legit on offense. Shaden Sharp's giving him a little something. They haven't even got my boy Young Hansen into the mix too much so far. They're just playing a lot of clinging, going small. Tamani Kamara, one of the best defenders in the entire league. So great team. Really loving the Portland experience, and cool to see them have those 2 wins. I think they're like 6-2, 6-3 or something to start the year. So
yeah,
no joke. Love to see it. Love to see it, obviously. Speaking of legit, hate to say it, but man, the Lakers, the Snow Time Lakers. Have you heard the nickname?
Why are they snow? Oh, because it's
Reeves, Laravia. The Trace Lake Chase boys.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's getting
I
some
did notice
play,
that
but
they're 7-2.
They're playing well. Knocked off the Spurs last night in a hell of a game. I hate to say it, but there's a lot of Marcus Smart doing Marcus Smart things for that team.
I know. Every time I've watched the Lakers
getting Wemby in foul trouble, this being feisty, and I love it, but I hate it.
No, he's kind of back too, which again, love it, but hate it.
Feels like he's kind of inspiring Luka with his like dogness next to Luka, is getting Luka going a little bit, and it's like, watching like the X thriving with like the new crush is like, oh man, I don't know this, but kind of ugly. But the Lakers, they're like 8-2 now, I think, and
7-2 unless they won tonight. I don't know if they're playing right now.
7-2. And you've got go shocker alert. Here comes Sham saying, "Oh, LeBron's suddenly feeling better and he's inspired to come join this team." It's like, go figure. So basically, exactly, I believe what we predicted when we first talked about the LeBron situation was that he would just watch it play out and just do whatever makes him look best and try to make himself the main character. So we're seeing that happen as it's a surprise.
Here it comes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The most predictable thing ever again. Then Russell Westbrook, man, this guy's just absolutely hilarious. Basically was unsigned all summer. The Kings signed him like a week before the season started. He's basically already become a central figure on that team. He put up a ridiculous triple-double the other night. He now leads NBA for the career, up to 204 career triple-doubles, massive triple-double. He also became the all-time leader for rebounds by a guard. They asked him about it, and his response was something like, well, humbly, I am the best guard rebounder of all time. So very humble of Russ.
Like, was he trying to be funny, or does he think that that was a bar?
I think he was. No, I think he just.
It's like, well,
he was going to say something
that
was extremely like that, so he just proceeded by saying, like, "Say this is humbly." Is he meant to be like, I don't want to not sound humble, but it's kind of hard not to. But Fair claim. Fair claim. Like not crazy. Some arguments against it, but I mean, he's got a case, obviously. So respect to him. And you know, he's making the Kings watchable. So that in itself is my hats off.
Something worth it to say about that.
Good for him. Always been a Russ guy. And again, as long as he's not playing for my team, more than happy to watch him. So that's been cool to see Russ.
Some people wanted that.
Yeah, I'm aware, but I'm glad that Russ is still getting to be Russ somewhere. No, I love Russ, but like I said, he's fun to watch from afar. I don't want my emotions resting on him, but I love to watch him otherwise for his entertainment.
Glad to hear that he's playing somewhere.
Yes, precisely. The jaw check-in, John Morant. He played tonight, playing right now, actually. They're about to get a win over the Mavericks. He has a double-double. He's looking good. But we saw the other night, KD going back and forth with T. Morant on the sidelines, chirping T. T said something to him, and KD said something along the lines of like, "Shut up, your son won't even be here in a week," or something like that. Wow. So yeah, interesting stuff going on. The situation continues to be one to monitor, but as we keep saying, there's no real market. So I think it's kind of best for both sides to just put your head down, go out there and play well. Even if he does want out, the only way really to get it, I think, is to go out
is to play well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
to play well and not be a problem, and then teams will say, "Well, all right."
Exactly. My thoughts, and getting that big win right now against the Mavericks, who have quickly become the biggest absolute disaster in the NBA. They have the least efficient offense ever since that's been tracked. The team they passed was the 0-2 Nuggets, who then drafted Carmelo as they were tanking for LeBron or one of those guys that year. So it's been bad. They tried to play Cooper Flag at point guard. They've finally made a concession and moved D'Angelo Russell into the starting lineup, so they actually have a guard. It's still not going well. They lost to the Pelicans without Zion the other night, and they're again losing. They're down by 19 with 6 minutes left to the Grizzlies, who we've been talking about. They've been a bit disastrous. I think the Mavs are going to be 2-8 after this. Talks of trading Klay Thompson. AD's hurt with no clear timeline to return. Daniel Gafford, they're saying, might get traded too. I wanted to flag that one because as we keep talking about, the Celtics are going to have to go find a big guy at some point. Gafford, 3 years, $60 million, $20 million a year for a rock solid NBA center. He's exactly the kind of guy you can be starting Gafford. 28 minutes of Gafford, 20 minutes of Neemias. That's a legit front court, and that's very solid value, attainable. He's a really good NBA center. Solid 2-way guy, not going to stretch the floor, but good pick and roll guy, good finisher around the rim, good defender, good rebounder, all that. Solid. So if he's someone moved, I think that's someone you go look for is hey, this might be a move that makes sense for us going forward, where he could kind of be our starting center for the next few years. If he comes available, that's definitely a name I'd monitor, and that could be your hey, we'll give you Simons and something else or something. So we'll see. I saw that name and my ears immediately perked up because that's one of the names I've heard that actually makes some sense for the Celtics. So it's weird to think the Celtics would be buyers, but again, I think it'd be the kind of move where your eye is more on the future, a la trading for Isaiah in the tanking year, where it's you see a deal that's just too good to pass up for the future of the team going forward. So we'll see. Something to monitor. And then speaking on it. Oh, we're monitoring it. We're monitoring, of course. And then speaking of trades, finally wanted to finish with an interesting one on the most recent Bill Simmons podcast. Laid out this hypothetical trade that had me thinking, where he said if it gets to that point and the Rockets call the Celtics and offer Van Vliet, Tari Eason, and the Suns pick next year for Derrick White, what do you say? And don't just gut answer immediately because you got to think about it for a second, and it's interesting. Now, I don't know if the Rockets
seems like a pretty big haul for Derrick White.
Well, right, but I think that's kind of where we're at. Where it's I'm definitely not looking to trade Derrick White, but if a team comes and gives, it's got to be a haul. The Rockets, I can see after going in for KD, if they decide we really fucking need a point guard, D White, I think that's a guy who
for the season, right?
Yeah, so I think they could convince themselves we are actually a D White away from winning it all, which I think is fair to I don't know, they'd be right there if they got him. So I think they could justify giving up a haul. Whereas KD's not getting any younger. And if you're the Celtics, I think you could kind of maybe say man, that would give us Van Vliet next year, who's at least pretty close to as good as D White. a draft pick from Phoenix that could be top 10, another crack of the lotto. Tari Eason, who I fucking love. We'll see what the contract situation is. He's going to be a restricted free agent, but he would just be a lights out fit. And he's probably honestly the reason this trade doesn't get done, because I don't know that they'd give him up. But
that's what I'm saying. That seems like a huge haul for Derrick White, where it's like,
right.
It's like you're basically forcing me to say I would trade him. But
I'm saying, let's say the Rockets are, petering around a little better than 500, and it's just very clear, like, we just need a fucking point guard so bad that they kind of, again, I could see some urgency after going and getting KD, where it's like, we have to go do something. The Phoenix pick is just kind of like an extra asset that they have anyway. Like, are they going to keep just drafting young guys to this team? I mean, again, I'm not saying they would do it, but if they get to the point of desperation where they're like, we need to make a move now to like save this, I think White would be like a perfect target. And at the same time, if the Celtics are like 500, then it could be like, well, trading D White would make us worse to make it easier for us to tank. We'd get another pick. So suddenly it's like we have 2 cracks at the lotto, a good young player in Eason, and Van Vliet hopefully coming back, who's like kind of a D White replacement already. So I'm not saying I want to trade D White, and I'm not saying this trade's going to happen, but I think it's time to think about
I just feel
things
like I don't know if that's a very realistic. I don't know. It seems like a lot. The pick and everything seems like a lot. But if they're suggesting it, then they probably know more about the market than I would.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's just a hypothetical trade that Bill Simmons made up. But I think it makes sense if you're the Rockets and you're thinking, like, we're kind of in win now mode. We love Van Vliet, but he's fucking hurt.
Right.
And, like, a pick is a pick, great. It's
so we're
pick.
willing to just kind of
get
fleeced a little bit to just get this guy in.
Well, and the other thing is, Eason, as good as he is, they just refuse to extend him, and he's going to be restricted. So they might be like, we're going to lose Eason after this year anyway. So, I don't know. Again, I could see it's. I think at least both front offices would have to have a pretty serious conversation about it.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not something you hang up the phone on. That's for sure.
Right. And again, at the end of the day, it's a lot, but they can be like,
jeez,
we're gonna add fucking
Bill
Derrick
Simmons
White.
trying to sow discontent in Celtics Nation.
I don't even know that it's discontent. I think it's more just like, let's be ready to have those conversations.
And
before it's like
it's
upon
not
us.
exactly like we would be getting the worst end of that trade, minus that we just lose Derrick White. But
who's, again, I love Derrick White, but he will be 32 next year, and like his value probably never will be higher. So
yeah.
I don't know. I guess that's more just a reflection of like that's where we're at, that we got to be thinking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm more open
this could happen
to thoughts like that than I've probably ever been. Like that was maybe the biggest takeaway, that I was sitting there listening to the podcast and I was kind of nodding along like, oh, that's interesting. As opposed to, I feel like a few months ago when we were like thought of trading D White, we were like, why would we ever do that?
Yeah, fucking kill you. I'll fucking kill you for suggesting.
Exactly. And now you're not even threatening my life. So
something's wrong.
We've come a long way.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we got the Magic up next. I don't expect them to hit this many threes, but we'll see. They seem to do that to us sometimes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward again, though. I kind of like the mini-series. I like that we get to go right back out there, get that bad taste out of our mouth. Again, team we just played in a dogfight.
And then we play the Sixers again, too. Like, we play the Sixers.
Yeah,
it's front-loaded as fuck. They just want to get all the Embiid Celtics games in, I guess, before you.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll be back here Sunday. Everyone enjoy your weekend. We'll be back with you Sunday night after the Celtics game. You can listen to us live. We streaming on our Twitter page at Chuddy's Corner. So you can always listen to us right away. Get that immediate Chuddy's fix. If you missed the live stream and want to catch us, we are streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, anywhere you get your music, anywhere you get your podcasts. You can find Chuddy's Corner. Make sure while you're there, you hit that subscribe button, show the pod some support, and we will see you all again on Sunday. He's King Chuddy. I'm at Doug _outs. Take care.
Peace out, Chuddy heads.